Hey everyone, this is Daisha Jones with Expeditions and Education. Welcome to the Great Lakes Odyssey. We have been on the road for about a week now, and today we're at Indiana Dunes National Park. Now when you watch this, I want you to keep in mind that we have got a lot of waves happening out here, and this is part of the remnants of Hurricane Helene, which has done a lot of damage on the East Coast. But we're here today with Mary Ann and Dr. Aaron, and we're going to learn a little bit about water safety so that when you do come to the water, no matter what body of water you visit, you'll know how to take care of yourself, what steps to take before you enter the water. So Dr. Aaron and Mary Ann, we are glad you're here, and I'm actually going to step out and let you have this great conversation.
Wonderful, thank you.
Thanks so much. Nice to meet you.
Mary Ann, we're glad you're here today. We are standing at Portage Lakefront Park, still at the southern tip of Lake Michigan at the Indiana Dunes National Park. So, Mary Ann, tell me the organization you're with.
I'm with the Great Lakes Water Safety Consortium, and we have over 1,000 members. Our goal is to bring in experts and organizations and local beach communities so that we can spread best practices around all the Great Lakes for water safety.
Wonderful, and today is a very windy day, so it seems like a perfect day to talk about water safety and also how to take ownership of yourself and your family and to be prepared to visit the beach. So let's just talk a little bit about how we met too. We met doing water safety, didn't we?
Yep, we would play on the beach in Miller with our kids and my granddaughter, and I was always trying to incorporate in our beach time and in our playtime water safety lessons. And it just kind of caught on with some of the other people like you that were at the beach.
Yeah, and here at the National Park too, people need to understand that you kind of need to know the rules of the beach that you're at. Every place is just a little bit different, and especially here at Indiana Dunes, we have a national park that has beaches, but right next to us is a state park with beaches that has their own rules, and then there are also communities. So there are no universal rules for beach safety, are there?
Nope, that's absolutely right. So one of the first steps about going to the beach and having a fun, safe day at the beach is preparing at home. So you want to do your research. You want to pull up the information and websites from different organizations that have water safety information for the beach you're going to. So you can pull up NOAA, you can pull up, I'm going to kind of read off of here. There's the National Drowning Prevention Alliance. They are the group that started Water Watcher cards. They also just this year started swimming as first sport. So instead of like maybe getting your kids into soccer, swimming is a life skill that can save your life. And so they're encouraging people to start your children in swim lessons from the beginning. There's there's NOAA, there's the National Weather Service. They have a beach hazards report website that you can go to that shows you what the conditions are going to be like for that day and the next 2 days so that you can plan. So you want to plan ahead, know what the weather conditions are like. You want to know what the rules are. Are you going to a guarded beach or an unguarded beach?
Oh, that's a great point, yeah. So if you have young kids, you might want to check out where there is a specific beach that has trained lifeguards. Because again, here at Indiana Dunes, not every beach is guarded, and also it changes with the season. There's a beach season, and then it's nice out in the fall, but we usually might not have the staff on to do the guarding of the beaches, right? So you like to say kind of know before you go, right? Pick the beach that is best for your group and your family.
Absolutely. The other conversation you want to have at home is if a group is going your family, you want to know what everybody's swimming ability and experience is. So if you're taking a neighbor or your children's best friends to the beach with you, you're responsible for them. So you want to have a conversation with the parents. You want to say, what is their swimming ability? Have they ever been in the lake before? Do they play in waves? Have they had swim lessons? So that you know ahead of time.
And I remember when Charlotte was little, I said, oh yeah, she's in swim lessons. And you told me very clearly, swimming in a pool is not the same as swimming in a lake. Can you just tell us again why?
Absolutely. There's a lot of differences. One, there's no walls. Two, there are a lot of waves on different days. There are south winds that pull things out, so a perfectly flat day can look safe, but inflatables could float out. And one of the biggest things is the beach
Bottom, right?
The beach bottom, thank you,
Yeah.
is very uneven. So if you're 10 feet out, it could be knee deep or it could be chest deep, and it's going to be, as they walk around, it's going to change very quickly. So you want to watch for sandbars and natural grade changes.
Yeah, and Charlotte and I are going to be traveling with the Odyssey around the Great Lakes, and every beach is going to look a little bit different. Here at Indiana Dunes, we have nice sandy beaches, but we were just over at Perry's Victory, which is in Lake Erie, and it was very rocky beaches, and then they had seawalls, so the bottom felt very different when we just started walking around there.
Yep, and I was just up at Rock Island in the peninsula of Wisconsin at Door County, and they have like a sandstone bottom that almost looks like a concrete pool bottom and different rocks. So like you're saying, every beach is different, even in the Great Lakes.
Okay, so know where you're going, know the weather conditions, check the weather conditions. The NOAA website will tell us, actually today there is a beach hazard warning, so we can see some big waves out there, but we can also still see some people recreating and having fun.
So the goal is to teach the kids at an early age, or at any age you can start, and learn the hazards, improve your skills. Every time you're at the beach, practice your skills. Then we can go over what some of those activities are that we'd like to do. And as you advance, you get to do things. The world opens up to you for great adventures, for scuba diving, for surfing, for kiting, for sailing. So as soon as you start to develop those skills, you can do things like this on days that do have beach hazards, but they're all prepared. You know, they know what they're doing, they have the equipment, and that's not where you want to start. There's a family down there now just playing in the sand. Some days it's just great to play in the sand and not go in the water.
Right, and we saw some surfers who were kind of taking it slow in a shallower area as well. I'm going to bring Charlotte in right now. She's going to help us, and maybe you can show us some of this fun equipment. And I do want to say too, like, I was one of those kids where my parent grew up in the city. My mom never knew how to swim. So anytime we went anywhere, like, I couldn't count on my parent to be able to save me. I had to sort of know these things, and that's why it's really important to me that we are helping kids understand how to take care of themselves and take care of each other.
Right.
And it can't be an expectation that someone's always going to be there, but this safety equipment can help us prepare for the beach. So.
Yep. So part of preparing at home as you get ready to go is pack your car with all the necessary things. So in my swim bag, I have a lot of things, and outside the swim bag. So I'm gonna grab this from you if I can. When you get to the beach, you want to know what kind of equipment they have. So safety stations have become a norm in Indiana. It's now a state law as of 2024, and most every beach should have safety equipment that includes a safety ring. So you want to locate it when you get there, and you want to know where it is. But you may not be next to it, so one thing that you can do from home is bring a life jacket. You should always bring a life jacket no matter what the conditions are, and they should always be Coast Guard approved. And obviously there are different sizes, so neither of these are going to be good for Charlotte because this one's too small and this one is too big. And so what you do is you always size appropriately for the person who's wearing it, and you want to know how to size that.
Would this fit me?
This would fit you.
Do you think we could put it on me and show how to make sure that it's actually fitted properly?
So the first thing you want to do is always fasten everything there is to fasten. So this one has a zipper, this one just has clasps.
So find the style that you like, right? I know that when I'm kayaking, I have one that goes over my head and it fits a little differently.
Different sports have different life jackets.
Great.
If you're just going into the lake to swim, either of these are great. Some of them have, this one does not, but some of them have a leg strap, and some of them have a headrest, and so those are for smaller children to keep them floating face up, and then also to keep it, the leg strap is to keep it down on your shoulders. There you go. You can hold that again for me.
And this is even just for swimming, right? Not just for kayaking or anything like this.
Absolutely.
It's just for swimming.
When you're in the lake and you come to the beach, you should always bring a life jacket no matter what the weather is going to be. And so if you can turn around, when you go to check it, you want to make sure that it doesn't come above your ears. So this is nice and snug. The reason you don't want it to come above your ears is a life jacket can become a hazard. If it is too big, it'll get in front of your face, it can come off of you. Then if it's in front of your face, water gets trapped there, you can't breathe good, and people panic really quickly. And they're trying to pull it down and they can't. And so before you enter the water, you always want to check it. And you don't want to get lazy. You're like, okay, you wear this every single time. So we just put it on and we go. Every single time you want to snug it and test it.
So we've got life rings, and I know that we have practiced throwing them before in the past with kids, a super fun game to kind of to do. If someone's on land, a life vest can even be something that you throw to them if they are out in the water and maybe they have not brought their life vest out with them. So if I see Charlotte struggling, what should I do? Should I run out and try to save her myself? What would a parent do? Because I'm inclined to panic.
So the first thing you do is you always have a water watcher. And that is a qualified adult that can handle the conditions. So you don't want to take your kids and let them go into the water if you can't go into the water in those conditions. So there's a lot of people that might come to the beach today and let their kids wade around, but they're going to be on shore because they can't handle it. The water watcher has to be qualified to enter the water to make a rescue.
I'll say a lot of our parents too, like myself included, kids can handle cold water, and I'm like, ooh, I'm not going in there. It feels too chilly, but I have to be ready to go in with my kid.
So if the kids are, no matter what the age is, if they're not a good swimmer, you should be within arm's reach of them.
Okay.
Generally speaking, as they develop their skills, when they're younger and smaller, that's when you're really within arm's reach of them. You need to be able to grab them quickly. You need to be able to pull them up, especially even if there's a 6-inch wave. A 6-inch wave is going to knock a 4-year-old over. You know, they're just going to lose their balance, and you want to be there to help them stand up. You want them to learn to stand up on their own.
Yes, I remember that you worked with the kids. You had them sit on the side and get used to the waves hitting them in their face, because maybe that's the scariest thing, is to get hit in the face by a wave.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things that you can do when you get to the beach. If it's a little bit wavy, is you sit on the shore. Do you remember doing this? We sit on the shore and you try to like sit in a V, or just sit and let the waves move you so that you can feel that there is a push and there is a pull with every wave. And a pull with each wave is not a rip current, so it's just the natural movement of the wave. So it's always going to push you and pull you.
Yes, I think the kids learn that there's oscillation of particles within a wave when they study their waves at school.
And so then you move out a little bit into the water, and you get the kids used to, even on a flat day, we teach them how to do bobs. So a bob is when you go under the water and come back up. You learn to hold your breath and then come up, and you get to do that faster and faster.
Do a bob, Charlotte.
Blow out, blow in, right? But what that does is it teaches you that when the waves are coming, if you get knocked over, hold your breath. When you come up, you can breathe. If you get knocked over again, you're used to that movement. So in the Great Lakes, our wave frequency can be every 3 to 6 seconds, which is really fast. In 15 minutes, you can be hit by 200 waves.
And that's an important vocabulary word, right? Frequency. If you think about our waves that we learn about in class, right? We learn about the wave crest. We learn about the wave amplitude. We learn about the wave height. Do you remember what wave frequency is?
It's how many waves pass a point in 1 second.
Okay, so how
Very
fast,
good.
how many, oh, nice job. And so it's how fast the waves are coming at you, which can be the thing that is a little overwhelming in the Great Lakes.
I think that's probably one of the biggest reasons people find themselves in trouble, is because of the wave frequency and the unevenness of the bottom of the lake. So the waves are coming at you, you get knocked down, you might drift a little because of a current, you go to stand up and you're at a different depth. So learning how to stabilize yourself in the water is really important, and you do that with games, you just play. You can do it, a fun thing is with boogie boards. We always encourage people to bring boogie boards, and with a leash so that you're hooked to it. It's a flotation piece, so you can learn how to ride the waves.
All right, so we know to prepare and know before we go.
Yep.
We know how to check our weather conditions. When we get to the beach, we're looking for our safety equipment, and we have come ready and prepared with our life jacket. We know about having a water watcher. being near our partners.
Yes.
And then what's the final piece then? I know that you have tried to impress upon me if there needs to be a rescue, do we go after them ourselves, or what is the role of a life ring and another flotation device?
So the number one thing is don't go throw. So what you don't want to do is enter the water necessarily to save somebody, because you yourself can get in trouble. Oftentimes the attempting rescuer becomes the victim. And so you want to avoid that. If you're going to enter the water, you want flotation for yourself. It can be a float, it can be a boogie board. Surfers are always saving people. It can be a life jacket. The ring is for the person in trouble, and you can throw it, but rings only throw about 20 feet. And so that's not very far. Most of the time, someone's going to have to enter the water with the ring and get it to them. You keep the ring between you and the victim, so if she's having trouble, victims can get a little panicky and they want to climb on you. So you talk to them, it's going to be okay, I'm here, hold on to the ring, and we're going to swim in. Are you doing okay? Just swim with me, take a minute and catch your breath, and we're going to make it back to shore. For somebody that is Charlotte's age, she's not going to enter the water with a ring. She's going to use her voice for help. You're going to call out for help. You can run to the safety equipment and get it. That makes people look. I'm going to put this down now. You want to bring attention to the situation. So you might yell, "Help, I see somebody in the water with trouble." And then you're going to run and get equipment or a life jacket. And you're going to bring adults in to help you make that rescue. One of the things if it gets to a point that the victim submerges and they don't resurface, if you have the sense, you want to check your time. You want to mark the location on the beach with a towel or a bucket, something like that, so you know where they went in. And you want to call 911. The other thing that a lot of people don't know is they don't know where they are. So when they call 911, they're
great point.
perplexed. So you need to know where you are. So that's part of like walking to the beach. We are at West Beach. We are at the Portage River Walk. Whatever beach you're at, say it so you know where you are.
I will say too, we find at the national park that sometimes people are busy on land and the kids actually go inland and disappear. And then all of a sudden we're looking around and our kids are gone and we don't know where they are. And that makes it really tough to know, are we looking for someone on land? Are they really in the water? And so I know you've suggested to me when you get to the beach that you have a meetup place, that you know where to go, and that you really keep eyes on your kids, because if someone is in the water, wasting time looking for them on land is very valuable time. And you always like to say that the best day at the beach is
a safe day at the beach, that's for sure. And so that's part of the walk to the beach is, okay, everybody, here's the pavilion. Here's the stairs down. If you get lost and you don't know where you are, because a lot of beaches look the same, this is where we're going to come look for you. So come stand at this rock, come stand at this sign, we'll see you. So go to your meeting place. The other thing is, as you're walking to the beach, check the wind. You want to look for the grass blowing, you want to look for the wave direction, you want to look for the trees. Know which directions the wind's coming, because whatever direction that wind is going or coming from is where you're going to blow.
awesome.
Thing that might be important too is to keep an eye on all of your kids, because if you have like a older kid and a younger kid, you don't want to just let the kid take care of the other kid. Like,
Right.
You should be watching the kid. They shouldn't be responsible for their siblings or anyone else, their friends, their siblings.
You don't want to have the older kids responsible for the younger kids. That is a huge responsibility. That is not their responsibility. So when you're having that water watcher, it needs to be a qualified adult, and you need to know where everybody is. So if you have different levels of swimmers, like you have a 4-year-old that's staying in close with you, and you have a 13-year-old that's swimming out a little further with their friends, you almost need 2 water watchers, or you set rules. Today's rule is we're all going to stay together. I know you'd like to go out further, but today we just can't do it.
So exhausting. I know we go to the beach to try to relax, but these are a lot of really important tips for staying safe.
And that's the other really important thing is rotate your water watchers if you're with a group. A group of people, nobody is watching them. You always need that designated person, but don't make one person do it all day.
Yes, and we've even done that at the beach, right? You're done being a water watcher, you make me tag out,
Yep.
and now I am the water
And
watcher.
you have the conversation. Hey, Erin, I would like to go do something else or go read my book. Would you watch the kids now? And if she says no, I'm still in charge. If she says yes, she's in charge. And then I'm going to say, hey, Charlotte, I'm no longer responsible for you. Your mom is. So
Yep, or you need to come out of the water.
Pay attention to Erin. Or, yep, time out. Everyone's going to play in the sand.
Awesome. All right, so we want to say thank you to you for your time, and again, Great Lakes Water Safety Consortium.
Yep, absolutely.
All
Bring
right.
Best practices to all the beaches.
And great resources too, a lot of educational resources there in English and in Spanish as well. And thank you to you, Charlotte.
Good job. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks.
So wow, that is a lot of information. Now I am a swimmer, but I learned a lot of things, and I have to remember those things now with my grandsons, right? Because we're taking them out to the beach, Lake Michigan in Chicago. So again, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for being part of this important message that we're given to kids and adults alike. I know that you have benefited a lot from Mary Ann's words over the years.
I have.
It's great that we've had her out here. So thank you again for joining us for the Great Lakes Odyssey, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye, everyone.